I'm going to do a reading today from the Santa Muerte Tarot, the Book of the Dead. Book of the Dead. I'm using the little book that's inside one of the readings that they suggest. But before I do that, I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out and tell you about a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, Therese. Hi, Therese. Um, she's my. I love Therese. I don't know her. I mean, I don't know her in person. I've never met her in person, but she's a wonderful person that I met here on YouTube. I know her through Facebook and YouTube, and we've I've chatted with her so many times. I've read for her, but we're in a book club now. We have a book club. I talk to her as often as I get a chance. I love talking to her, and she is a fantastic artist and a fantastic photographer. And I own some of her art, and I now own some of her photographs. She has a page. I'm going to give you the link to a place called Society 6, which is a company that supports artists, I guess is the word I'm looking for. What they do is they take her artwork, her photographs, and things, and put them on products that you can buy, you can purchase. And these just came today, and I'm so excited. I got two. I got them the coffee mugs. These are the small size too. These are really nice big coffee mugs. And my husband, first of all, loves it already because it's white. He loves to drink coffee or tea in a white mug. He's a purist, big handle, and a very lovely mug. But anyway, her photographs. I don't know how well you can see it here, but I'm going to give you the link, and they wrap around the whole thing. Here's one, and here's this one. Here's this one. See, it just repeats to go around the mug. Oh, so well done. It's transferred to whatever process they use. I don't know. It's done so well. This is not a this is a very lovely mug. Anyway, she has a lot of things on her store there on Society 6 that I'm going to be doing some Christmas shopping. I can tell already at her store. So I want you to go check it out. I want you to go check it out. You're going to love it. She also has um, she has a channel here on YouTube. I don't know. She doesn't post too often on it, but she's a blog. She's fantastic. I'll give you whatever links I can find. I will get, and maybe if she has other links, she can put them in herself, Therese. If you want to put them down in the comments, that would be wonderful. Then I'll have to go looking, and you can put the links that you want people to actually use to make sure we get them going to the right place. But anyway, oh, please go check it out. She's got just wonderful, wonderful things. She's wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity, Therese. I love sharing. And anybody else has anything they want me to share this on your work, my whole family, we are really big into promoting artists. I mean, this is what it's all about to us. We have to take care of our artists and our creative people. We have to do that. They have so much to offer, so much special talent. Okay. I wanted to do something tarot related today for those in the tarot community that I might have been neglecting a little bit lately. I thought I would try to do a reading that is in the book that comes with this Santa Muerte tarot. It's in the little book that comes in the case, and the reading is called the Ouija, or the Oracle of the Dead reading. It has 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 cards. It uses 9 cards. But what is different about this reading is that it utilizes the entire deck, not all of the cards in the deck, but it ensures that you're going to get cards in your reading that represent each section of the tarot. You're going to get major arcana cards. You're going to get minor arcana cards, not just minor, but you're going to have representing all of the elements, all of the suits, the the cups, the pentacles, the wands, and the swords. In order to do so, I have to separate the deck. I have to order the deck. Not order it necessarily, but I have to take out. I had to take out all the major arcana cards, 22 cards. And then the remaining cards I had to divide up by suit. All of the cups, all of the swords, all of the pentacles, and all of the wands, which I've done. And if you know me, you know I don't like to do that. I don't like to do that. I work very hard to keep my decks random. And I wasn't exactly sure the purpose of this reading. The little book, it's little. It's not, when you get this deck, it's not like you're buying a deck that has this fantastic book that goes with it, like the Tarot of the Enchanted Forest, or the even the Wildwood Tarot, or something like that. That is a really informative user book. This one really doesn't explain what makes this a Ouija spread or the Oracle of the Dead spread exactly. But I'm thinking about it, I think it's probably pretty obvious. The whole deck is named. It even says here under the heading Muerte Tarot, it has the Book of the Dead. So all of the cards in here are associated with the dead. So when we're splitting them up and ensuring that we're getting things from the major arcana and each section of the minor arcana, we're getting representation from the entire Book of the Dead, so to speak. Okay. So in that case, it is like doing a Ouija using a spirit board where you're opening up to just any and all spirits that happen to be present. This is asking for any and all spirits that are here to address certain areas, both major areas of my life and minor areas of my life, including my thoughts and my emotions, my material possessions, my passions, creative urges, and my thoughts and communication. Making sure that I get all of those represented in one reading. For that reason, I decided to go ahead and give this a try. I've never done it before, so you're here for the first time with me doing it. So we're going to do it together and see what kind of a reading we get. So I'm going to shuffle the cards, each little section. I will shuffle each little section really well. I will lay them out, lay the cards out following the diagram, this little diagram in the book, and then we'll start looking at each card individually. Okay, so I'll get that done, and then I'll come back. Let me change this camera a little bit here. There we go. Okay, I just adjusted the camera a little bit so you can see the first three cards at the bottom of my spread here are cards from the major arcana that are to represent the first one being the past position of the past, which speaks to the beginning of a situation that may need clarifying, or it might represent inertia, which is keeping a situation blocked and stagnant. And I'm going to I looked in the book, I always, when I have these, especially these odd decks that are very specific to a subject, I like to really look at what the book has to say about the card. And this, of course, is inner strength. We talk about in our normal reading, we would talk about the inner strength of this card. Using your will to carry something forward, or embracing things with conviction, and taking ownership of something and really doing it. And that's really defines my life in a lot of ways, except my situation in a lot of ways. But the shadowy, if we want to look at a shadowy part of this, it talks about an excess. If you do too much to control this energy, and channel it, really work hard to channel it too much, If you have too much of that going on, it could cause, it says, arrogance and possessiveness. In the worst case, it could cause repression, hard-headedness, egoism, or weakness. It can make you weaker. I'm seeing this as a a conflict between trying too hard to express creativity and to go in directions involving my creativity by will, using sheer will and force. That's certainly what I do. And then too much of that trying to control or trying to please or trying to do, setting my standards too high. This quest for perfection leads me to a depressed state where I don't create at all. And I have said that to you we've seen that in other readings, and I think I've said that to you just in conversations that I've had on this channel. That's very true of me. I do fluctuate highs and lows. Right now, everybody, I'm getting a lot of funny messages from people that they can't believe that I'm here on day 20 of this 30-day challenge, that I'm actually doing this, because people who know me, I come on and say I'm going to come and be on here more often, and then I just kind of, I don't really, I don't, I don't, I'm not able to see it through for some reason. So everybody, I have people that don't even really know me as a personal friend. They know me well enough to be surprised that I'm even actually carrying through with this. I've had a tendency in the past, if I want to create, I want to do, I want to make, I want to achieve. And if I'm not able to do that for whatever reason, and I mean at the expense of other things. I am the kind of person who won't, you know, um, I might not dust my dust my bedroom, at the expense of having time to work on a project. I mean, that doesn't even bother me. Whatever, that's the number one goal. But then I'm also, and I talked to you about this, about how if I could be very depressed by not creating, and I can also creating is what takes care of my depression. So this kind of struggle is really true to me. So the struggle, this is more of a struggle card than we see represented in the Rider-Waite. The Rider-Waite, we don't see that struggle. We see the young maiden, the young lady, very gently controlling the lion. She's not wrestling with the lion. She's controlling very gently with using her inner strength. We can see this man. I could even maybe hold it up. We can see very clearly that he's wrestling. He's wrestling that lion. He's wrestling. He's working it. So that's very much typical of my past situation. I find that true. Now here we have, oh my goodness, in the second card, and I have to remind myself that these are all going to be major arcana cards, these 5, so I don't want to freak out here. But in the present situation, how we're observing what's happening with this situation in the present, we have the devil. Of course we do. Of course we do. And the devil in here, he says, the author says, um, creativity and passion is at its highest point. Well, isn't that the truth? That's kind of the truth, isn't it? The devil is the source from where we attain will, audacity, and charisma unto the profound depths of the psyche and human subconsciousness. It pushes us to realize and liberate our true nature by encountering successes, contracts, solid and lasting targets. Well, that's absolutely true. I'm doing that right now. I'm doing what I said I was going to do. But here comes the shadow. When the situation, however, is in the negative, this could become a synonym of arrogance, possessiveness, dependency, creating suffocating and binding ties like the strings of a puppeteer holds in his hands. I do take ownership of a project. Let me show you that card a little closer. I do take the ownership of a project. I take it very seriously. I don't like to do something and do it halfway. I like to do it really the whole way. And I can be very a lot to take. Sometimes I'm a lot to take if you're trying to work with me because I just want it to be the best. I want it to be absolutely the best. And so that's kind of me. That's really me in a nutshell, my life going on right there. And I have to be careful that I don't suffocate the people around me with it. I don't trying to control and channel my own creativity, that I don't control and channel other people. I have to be really careful of that. So I find it interesting here. I'm always in a constant struggle back and forth with lack of creativity or over creativity. And look what comes up in the third in the future card. Justice. Justice. Isn't that's something? This is the future, the conclusion of this situation, the balance, or the balance that can be achieved. It can be achieved. It can be achieved. The card says it can be achieved. I hope it can be achieved. And the book says, the card pushes toward the balance and stability and perfection, the ability to measure things out, to evaluate, but above all, attain what we really merit. Okay? Justice will be clement and generous with the good and severe with the bad. The outcome therefore implies that it will be the right one for the impartial and honest consultant. But it says it could come to incarnate a castrating maternal figure or bring uncertainties, excesses, and the consultant could feel the consequences of his or her own erroneous actions. Well, I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to mean, but um, being prone to being prone to excess or uncertainty, did I do good, or was my work good enough? Did I do enough? Those kind of things creep up all the time. Am I neglecting anybody or my friends or those kind of things when I'm really involved in my own projects? Maybe that kind of thing. So it's both an internal struggle and perhaps an external struggle. But I think it's a constancy. I think in this situation, even though we're representing past, present, future, for me, this is an ongoing struggle that I have all the time. This is just part of who I am. This is just part of who I am. Remember, I'm a triple cancer. I wear my emotions. I never forget. I never forget anything. I never forget a hurt, but I never forget, a love. I don't forget that. I hold my emotions very close to this, inside me, but at the same time, they drive me. They drive me. They drive me to create, or they drive me not to create. I'm very easily confused. I'm very easily led back into those places of doubt, doubting my worth, or doubting my ability, or doubting my motivation, or whatever. So this sense of achieving balance is something that is constant. It has to be a constant. I can't just go, oh, good, in the future everything's all good. No, this is going to continue. This is going to continue. This is a part of who I am. Okay. Now, this card up here, again, these two cards, I'll move the camera just a little bit so you can see those. I want to see what they say. Sorry, my range is not big enough. This is good. This card here represents the advantages of my strong points. What is to my strong point? What could be active influences that are really helping my situation? And we have the Empress come up. The Empress. And in this deck, it's that explosion of creativity and intuition, pulsating, natural pulsation, passion, and spontaneous, capable of dominating, seducing, shining with happiness. The Empress brings with her development, abundance, and progress, but in action, too impulsive. An action that is too impulsive and undertaken with little experience could bring quick results that do not last. Quick results that do not last. So, Isn't that the truth about me? Look at that. She's such a beautiful card. I love this card in this deck. It's just beautiful. Her beauty shines through. This is the card I said you don't have to have flesh on your bones to be beautiful. She has nothing on her bones and she's just gorgeous. She's just gorgeous. So graceful, so lovely, surrounded with her flowers. Okay. So this advantages, yes, my strengths. Oh my goodness, I do have the strength. I have so much. It oozes out of me sometimes. The creativity oozes out of me. I mean, I don't know how to put it any other way. I'm not trying to brag, but it's just a part of who I am. You know, it's just a part of who I am, and it is what makes me happy. And it's probably what makes other people like me. Because it's hard to be depressed. Like I said, it's hard for me to be depressed when I'm creative. It's hard for other people to be depressed around me when I'm happy and creative. I'm sort of a contagion. I realize that I'm sort of a contagion. Other people take their cues off of me, whether, if my mood is good, their mood is good. If I'm sullen and quiet, they're sullen and quiet. That just seems to be true. But I have to be careful and not take advantage of that kind of situation. And if I act impulsively, is what this card is telling me. If I'm asking too impulsively, um, the results are not going to last. The results of what I'm trying to do are not going to last. I think that's true for everybody. But for me, it's doubly a risk. It could be a risk because I get so caught up in the project and the idea of the project that somehow I talk myself into it, whether I don't always take the time to really think things through. Because I know if I fail, I can always come up with another project. Yeah, but at what cost? What cost did I hurt anybody in the meantime? I hope I didn't. But I never know because I don't think of it that way. I know I hurt myself sometimes. Sometimes I shoot myself in the foot, and I don't mean to do that. This card represents, then again, the opposite or whatever, the other side of the coin. Nothing is all good, nothing else bad. This card represents disadvantages of the weak points that I need to go out for. And there's the lovers. What an odd card. There you go, to represent the weak points. Again, that's a beautiful card, isn't it? But I'm always curious about the depiction of this card because I noticed the female is looking towards the lock, the male looking towards the key. Well, yes, the key fits the lock. That's sort of obvious. But what does he say about that card? Because this card is supposed to be disadvantages. Okay, this card, it says, the card of the lover forces us to choose, but not before we have gone through a period of learning, including our doubts, crossroads, and ambiguities. We are finally ready to do what we like and to love what we do. The key of the choice shines actively in our heart. The key of the choice shines actively, and our heart is ready to accept it, creating a new union, a new project, or a new friendship. It also is a moment for meetings, social life, altruism. But the negative side, it can bring doubts, arguments, even separations, deceptions, temptations. Well, isn't that kind of what I've been saying so far? I think I've kind of been saying that already so far. That's what the whole thing is about here. We're just saying the same thing over and over again. Um, Separating myself from getting involved in things, getting too busy, separating myself from not making myself available to other people because of it. Um, Doubting what I do, doubting myself, doubting my motivations, etc. That could be. But the other thing I see here is, which is not, it does not say in the book, and I have to say, this maybe is too personal, maybe too much information. I don't want to get too personal in my life, but I'm married. I've been married forever. I don't even know how many years. I have to stop and count how many years. I want to say it's now Oh, goodness, 48. 48 years. Been married for 48 years to my childhood sweetheart. And whatever, everybody who knows this knows we just do everything together. We've always done everything together. We're just together all the time. We share interests. We share everything. We share everything. We share deodorant. We share shampoo. We share our lives. We share our activities, our hobbies, our everything. And this is my project. You know, I'm doing this 30 days of the Halloween for this channel. My husband is all in. He's out buying me what I need for my videos. He's helping me set lights. He's watching, keeping the dogs out from under my feet. He's anything I need, he's there. Am I taking advantage of that? I need to be careful. Am I taking advantage of that? Is the importance of my project interfering in what he might be wanting to do? You see, that's just the way these kind of close relationships kind of act. That's how it kind of works out. And he doesn't have as much going on with him than I do. I always have something going on. At the same time, he's also trying to please me, doing all the things I want done around here. Like I want new screens on the back porch. So he's going to be working on putting in some new screens. I mean, that he just does. He just does. So this is a negative for me. It could be a negative for me. Getting so wrapped up in my own things and my own stuff. I got to watch here. The center four cards are the cards that were dealt from the four suits of the minor arcana. Coming up in the first card, we have the card. This is from the suit of chalices. The card representing the influence of memories in this spread. For me, it came up here. I thought it was very interesting that I got the Six of Cups, which is actually known as by many readers as the nostalgia card. It has something to do with it could have something to do with your wish coming true for some people, but it's usually about revisiting old memories, maybe some kind of something, your feelings that are there, you know, a lot of visiting long held feelings, long held memories. Here she's holding her memories, her feelings very close to her. They're personal. They're not, she's not sharing them with someone else, like we might see in the Ready Read version. I'm looking at this as memories because I live in the past a lot, and now, of course, I've been saying as the veil goes thin, I'm reliving some of my past memories. Of course, with my ancestors that have passed, my loved ones that have passed, with friends. But I'm also doing a lot of just thinking about my own past my own past decisions that I've made. You know, things that I've actually done, actions that I've taken, kind of things, and how I feel about that, how that has affected my life, etc. So I'm very much involved in this kind of a nostalgia card. The second card in the spread is from the suit of Pentacles. And the suit of Pentacles, we have the King of Pentacles here. And the Pentacles is our material center, how much it influences our economic situation at the moment, perhaps, but also our appearance, our physical health. I'm really curious as to what this book says about that. Let me see if I can find that in here. I don't like to read with a book like this, but I'm not that familiar with this deck yet. Since I work with it for such a short time, it's not that important. Okay, we have the King of Pentacles. He speaks of the King of Pentacles as a rational person. Through his intelligence, he has managed to prosper, to accumulate a lot of material goods. Well, I certainly have a lot of material goods. That's for sure. He brings with him good earnings, rationality, certainty. Well, their defect is the risk of materialism poisoning his moral and spiritual characteristics. Excuse me. What am I going to say again? The risk of materialism poisoning his moral and spiritual characteristics. Well, I don't see a risk of that because we're not wealthy people. We live well, but we're not wealthy. We've struggled a lot of years, but we have success. We do have overall we have success. We're fine. I'm particularly curious about this card as the King of Pentacles representing my physical health, particularly because I have struggled with my physical health over the last about year and a half, actually, where I hurt my back, and I've lost a lot of my mobility because of that. I mean, I'm struggling with it, and this isn't helping anything. Us being under quarantine, me not being able to go out much, it doesn't help. So I'm kind of interested in what this card may have to do with my health. Here he is struggling to carry. He's struggling. This is sort of interesting. He he has this big chest he's carrying in his through this field or whatever. This big chest with him with apparently his material possessions. And interesting, my husband and I are both going through this thing right now. This is absolutely probably what this is about. That both of us, my husband has some bad knees and it's hard for him. He's got arthritis. This is a big property. We have a big. It's not that terribly big, but it's a lot of house for two people. It's a lot of activity in the house. We have a lot of pets. We have a lot of, you know, garden. We have a lot of animals to tend to. And it's a little bit overwhelming for us right now with our health the way it is. So maybe this big house and all of the things we have is causing us to struggle a bit. But the king is saying it's a struggle, but it's not something you can't do. You can do it. He's able to do it perfectly fine. So that's encouraging. That's encouraging. Still going to try to get everything organized and trying to limit my responsibilities around here a little bit. For both of us. Okay, the third card. This is sort of dragging on. I don't mean it to. The third card is this is swords. It represents thoughts, communications, um, the state of our mental center, our intellectual activity, ideas, how we communicate with the world around us. Well, look at this. This is one of my favorite cards in this. This is the Three of Swords, and I love it because in the Three of Swords in this deck, instead of the knives piercing the heart, this is kind of, I don't even know. I hope you can see this well enough. I'll try to hold it steady. The guy on top is putting two knives into the back of the guy on the bottom. He's also sitting on his head. The guy on the bottom is pulling a knife or putting one in. I guess he's pulling it out of his leg as well. So a lot of stuff's happening to that poor guy on the bottom. I'm not sure where the knife came from, if this sword on the bottom that was in his leg I'm sure it was something done to him. But also, it's not bad enough that he has these swords on him. He's also being sat on as well. So I have to see what the book is saying about this card, because that's just cute. Let's see. This book is hard for me to find because they're not in the same order as they are in other books. The Three of Swords in here. It says new and I'm going to make sure I'm in swords. Yes. New ideas and new strategies, for the most part, could work against us, stabbing us in the back, causing losses, conflicts, remorse, or distancing. Only a careful analysis of the various contrasting situations with consequent selection and removal can help the destiny of this card. Okay, so we have to be really careful. that we don't have too much distancing through all these projects that I'm on. Perhaps I don't want it to stab me in the back. I don't want anybody to have any problems brought on by anything we're doing right now. We need to use some caution. We need to use some caution. We don't want to be sorry for anything that we're doing right now. So we're going to slow down and not take a lot of risks. Slow down my ideas a little bit. Maybe after this month is over, I'm doing some other things too. It's not just this 30 days of Halloween. Don't get me wrong. This is not a burden to me. I'm enjoying this. But I have some other things going on in my life and in my home, and a lot of projects going on at home. And I'm kind of in a hurry to do them because I just want to enjoy the labor. I just want to enjoy the fruits of our labor, and I need to maybe be cautious. I need to be a little cautious. So that might be a warning. And finally, we have, representing the Suit of Wands, we have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands. This is the state of our creative center, the situation of our desires, our sexual satisfaction, and also how we manage to express and release our creativity. Isn't that a beautiful card? Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands normally is a card that advises you to keep going, doing what you're doing, that you're about, you will, but persevere, and then you can have success. You can cross that finish line if you persevere. Keep on going. And here we're talking about with projects, my creative projects. Let's see what we have in here. With the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands, it's saying, I think it says pretty much the same thing, but it says even if a period of cleansing complication, even if it's a period of cleansing right now, complications, protracted evaluations, or adversity may slow down the process. Okay, but even if that happens, you'll still manage to harvest and finish. So this tells me that no matter what kind of stuff is maybe happening, difficulties I might have, it's gonna. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what I set out to do, which is really probably good news, I would say. And of course, the final bit. Whoops. Let's see that much. The final bit. I want to see as many of the cards as I can. The final gist of this, it asks you to look at card, the second card, AB, this one, and take the advice of the dead given by the devil. Well, isn't that lovely? I think that's kind of fun. Okay. I'll take the advice given to me by the devil. And that is 15. And the advice from the dead given by the devil is, he says to me, Rebecca, free yourself from what you think you are tied to and become who you really are, following your instinct and your inner fire without giving into flattery and properly evaluating the dangers that surround you. Keep my eye out. Keep my eye out. Keep a clear head. Don't give in. If my instincts tell me to go, I go. Instincts tell me to do, I do. Follow my instincts. Trust my instincts. And boy, isn't that how I got to where I'm going? It's kind of how I got to where I'm going. Following my instincts. Okay, let me change the camera. I don't know. What do you think? That was kind of fun. It was kind of fun. I'm always wondering though, one of my questions, my cards, when I read for myself, always just, I'm never surprised by my cards. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I don't know if it's a good thing to be not to be surprised or not. Um, but sometimes I think, do I, when I'm asking, when I'm, because I concentrate when I shuffle, you know, and when I'm reading for somebody else, I think I get really good readings. I feel good about the reading. I feel like we answer the questions, and I most times do not know the person. So I don't have any influence over the answers. But sometimes I wonder when I'm reading for myself, when I'm putting my intention into the cards for asking the questions, if I'm not determining the card, if I'm not calling the cards that best read what I'm feeling. Does that make sense? In this case, though, this is very clear that this is supposed to come. This is one way, and now we have this thinning veil. The spirits, the ancestors, they're here. They're around us. And I really do believe that. So, but of course, people, my ancestors know me too. They know me too well. So, well, I don't know. I don't know how accurate it is. But it was fun doing it. It was another way, you know, some people like Ouija, some people like other things, but I like this. I like this. I like tarot. I like to look at tarot, but most of the time I use my own. I ask my own questions. I ask my own questions, and I most of the time I shuffle my deck. Make sure my deck is very random before I shuffle. But in anyway, here's my lesson for today. The devil made me do it. It's all about the devil for me. Okay. I'm Rebecca. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. I send you blessings.